Hello, hello, and welcome back to Vybin with Autumn Le Poete. I am Autumn Le Poete. How y'all doing tonight? And we have some nice guest speakers in for today. Can you guys see me and hear me well enough? Let me hear here in the background in the comments that you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. But if not, this is the beautiful Lakia. I'm gonna let her introduce herself a little bit for you guys.
Hi, you guys. My name is Lakia Hodges. I'm an actress slash singer, songwriter slash musician, and a dancer too. But yes, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Um, our other guest speaker is a little delayed with us tonight, but he will be joining us within the next few minutes or so, hopefully. So we didn't even give this afternoon a topic for tonight because of what we're talking about. We just wanted to kind of just dish it on you. But it's called Let's Talk tonight, and we're going to talk about some deep stuff. How about that? But make sure you guys hit that share button. Lakia, the link is in your Instagram as well if you want to share as well. You can watch it live on Facebook or on YouTube under SQ More Shanta Moore Ministries. And we're getting ready to get the page up for this real soon. So you guys stay tuned. So let's be honest. It's that time of the year where everybody's wanting to be booed up.
Cuffing season.
Cuffing season is here, right? But see, in order to have a successful cuffing season, you got to get rid of some of that old relationship PTSD. And that is going to be our topic for today. Relationship PTSD. Woo!
I know.
Hefty topic right there, boy.
Flashbacks.
You know, started sweating a little bit just talking about it.
I'm sweating just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, what is some relationship PTSD that you have personally experienced? I know for me, it goes a little. My list is a little long, so we're gonna let the guest speaker start out a little bit. What is your PTSD that you're? Oh, there we go, and Red Yell is in the building.
There he is.
Yo,
what's good, people? What's good? How you feeling?
What's happening?
So, good. How y'all living?
We're living. We living.
Chilling.
Yeah, absolutely. As you should. As you should.
So we just introduced the topic. As you can see, it's just labeled "Let's Talk" this week because of how extreme our topic is for this week. So
yeah,
that relationship PTSD, brother. Oh, first of all, introduce yourself.
Yo, what's good, people? I go by the name of Radio Raheem. I'm a young hip hop artist out of North New Jersey. Came down to Atlanta to get some opportunities popping. You know what I mean? I'm doing my own thing. Setting up my own shows, you feel me? And I came on the show to speak for the homie. What up?
Represent, definitely. So yeah, relationship PTSD is cuffing season. And in order to have a successful cuffing season, you gotta leave some of that baggage behind, you know? And I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about what is relationship PTSD in y'all's terms, and then we're gonna break it down a little bit more on how you guys got rid of it, and if you're still working on getting rid of it. How about that? So yes, relationship PTSD, guys. I know I have my share of that. Still, I mean, it's been a year. Can I say that I've gotten rid of my PTSD? No, I'd be lying.
I'd be lying too. I just
no lying on the show. No lying on the show. You feel me?
Yeah, we can't do that. So you want to start us off? Like, what was some relationship PTSD that you had to work through?
I think I can get triggered easily sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since like the relationship is over, it's been a year for me too. When I get triggered, I immediately ask myself, why do you feel like this?
Right.
Like, because there's always a reason for you feeling a certain type of way. And then I also have to talk to myself and say, is it you being triggered, or is it actually happening for real? Like,
Right.
cause you know how like our imagination can go places,
Woo.
and once it's like a rocket ship. Once it sets off, it's like
That's it. That's it. And then you just have to wait and see, you know, if it's gonna bust, you know, or it's gonna get to its destination. I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
the thing with being triggered, I have to ask myself, is it my women intuition, or is it because I've been hurt before? That part
That's
gets
the
me
PTSD.
every single time. I'm like, okay, because you know, having an intuition is a gift. That's a gift that we have. But if you've been hurt, how do you know if you're just not making
reflecting
it
off
up?
the pain or the intuition kicking in? Going by out. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic question. Woo. That is a fantastic question. Jeez. Put me on the spot. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Red? Yo?
So like,
He said, let me think about it first. Let me
pause.
Nah, cause like my like it's just things get in this day and age, things are temporary. You know what I mean? So like, you constantly thinking like, dang, like should I make that next step? Should I do this or should I do that? Because you don't know like how to move now. You know what I mean? Like you so shooken up, like, oh man, what, like this is gonna happen like the last time. But
that part.
hey, life is a learning process. So you just keep on doing the best that you can do. I mean, just hope that the next time is a better time.
There we go. That's a good way to say it. So is that what you do, or is that the you know, influence that you're trying to pull tonight? Is that what you're telling the crowd, or is that something that Rad Yo himself had to experience?
Well, you know, I gotta drop some inspiration sometimes. I mean, but nah, that's also what I tell myself is like whenever I do drop some inspirational, it's something that like I need, like, because you got to practice what you preach, right? So,
Absolutely.
and man, it's me talking to myself, like, listen, like, you can't be scared. Like, PTSD is just something that's like, there's something in your mind that's saying that you can't.
Right.
But why can't you? I mean,
that's real. And I guess in my experience, what I like to do, in regards to relationships, is kind of sweep things under the rug, and that's not really healthy. I'm learning that here lately. My year 2021 has been a lot of self-reflection in regards to a lot of things, especially relationships, past relationships. Spoke about this the last time we were on live. Basically, getting in tune with me, so that I can see what my triggers are, what my triggers aren't, if it's a PTSD run, and that's in every form of relationship, with my siblings, with, people who I'm trying to talk to, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely, Latia really said it, but if I had to word it in my own thing, it's more so, figuring out what phrases trigger me, what looks, just being a little bit more specific,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What qualifies as relationship PTSD like towards your family?
So just giving a little bit of background, in my family, we didn't have a beautiful start. My childhood, I didn't have much of a childhood. And that's more so because I was fighting on a consistent basis for my sanity. So in my defense, with my siblings, it's communication. We don't know how to communicate. And that's PTSD from how our father used to treat us on a regular basis. He never communicated. He just roared, and whatever was done was done. So now that we're in our adult phases, I'll be 24 in 7 days. Woo! and my sister,
Whoa, Scorpio gang.
gang, and my sister's right behind me, and then I have a 19-year-old brother and a 17-year-old brother, and we just are trying to figure this thing out. Yeah, we have days where we go head to head because it's like now I want to make sure that I'm being heard, but now I don't know how to be heard and not hurt someone else's feelings. It's kind of like the filter almost. How in depth should the filter be? Should I say this? Should I say that? And that comes from the PTSD of not being able to speak. You don't know how. So in relationships with family, I feel like that's it. Communication. We don't know how to, and it's not even just communication, it's comprehension, because you could be speaking in layman terms, but they still don't grasp what you're saying. So it's like you're having to continuously, explain in different ways. And boy, that it makes me mad. I don't like doing that because how I am is, hey, I said it, it's done. I know you understood it, but then I can't jump to that conclusion.
Because sometimes when people are talking, like if you hear somebody talking, they're just ready to like give you a response. They're like,
absolutely.
They're not even thinking.
It's like it's second nature because
they're like, is it my turn yet? Is it?
Yeah, that's really it. It's more so, okay, you talk, my turn, instead of actually sitting down and listening and paying attention to certain things. I had to learn that. And I'm not going to tell you I've mastered it. I'm still working on it myself, especially with my siblings, boy, because I'm just like, all right, I've had to take care of you guys. I've had to listen. I've had to put myself on the back burner for you guys for literally a decade. It's time to take care of me. And I didn't know how to say that without me internalizing the feeling that, I'm letting them down. No, not necessarily. I can't take care of you if I don't take care of myself. So, and that's in any, that's in any relationship. And that's what, my mom had to understand as well. You can't take care of everybody. You got to take care of home base first, and then you can stretch out a little bit and lend a helping hand. But completely putting yourself on the back burner and then receiving the crumbs, that's not healthy. So that was my breakthrough. I had to be like, hey, I ain't your mama. Let me focus on me for a little while. And I had to be okay. I had to it was like turning off that pain, that that little pain switch in the back of your head, because it's like, dang, I don't want them to feel like I don't care. I care.
Listen, I feel the same way.
But I don't care right now. I need to be able to, okay, let me get me together and then I can help you. And my siblings don't know how to take that because Autumn has always been on call for, something that they needed, or if they needed to talk and I couldn't talk. This is the first time I declined phone calls or don't text back, because sometimes I can't, and that's PTSD. You got to bear with me a little bit, But absolutely, I feel like PTSD comes out in many forms. Communication with my siblings, not knowing how to say no was one of them.
Because do you feel guilty sometimes when you do say no?
Yeah.
But if you don't say no and say yes, you're abandoning yourself.
Absolutely. And I had to stop that. I had to stop that too.
I still have moments where I'm like, can I do it? Can I? But then I'm like, Lakia, if you say yes, are you gonna feel a little bit down or uncomfortable? But I would be in the mindset, well, at least they feel good. But then I'm like, well, how do you feel, Lakia? You don't.
Right.
So now you have this.
Right. They good, but there's two sides to this. If one isn't the full 100, you're not gonna get what you expect out of whatever you guys are doing. So absolutely. And that goes back to what Radya was saying about, taking the power back and just going for it. You never know what you're capable, what you can do, what you're capable of doing until you take that, filter off and you step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And that's one thing about relationships as well. I was always out of my comfort zone. That I got to go back to saying, no, I'm not comfortable with that. No, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
This don't feel too right. I'm not, and stick with it. Don't allow that other person to persuade you to go against what your Shanda is saying, what your intuition is saying.
Yeah.
That could have saved me a lot of heartache in a couple of situations in my past. So
me too, because like if you don't say anything, and let's just say the person doesn't know, they can easily say, well, you didn't say anything, and you really didn't, but like once you get the communication thing down and you actually say what you need to say and they know, you're like, okay, I let them know once, let's see how they really feel about me and see if they'll do it again. That leads to like a different path, because if you don't say anything, nothing's going to change, whether that person knows what they're doing or if they're completely oblivious.
Communication.
And that also comes to where intuition comes in as well, because now you can call it out a little bit, but you have to boldly call it out just as boldly as it came to you. Don't hold back. I saw that. No, we're not gonna go past that. No. And I think you knew what you were doing. So we're gonna sit down and talk about this before I blow this out of proportion.
Exactly.
Let's woosah real quick, But I saw that. that.
Because sometimes I'll put myself in another person's shoes. And I'm like, if I was in that other person's shoes and I did that, I would know what I was doing.
Heck yeah.
So let's try to figure
where you
this
could
out
tell
together.
It was a bit intentional. And then some things you could see, like if they were really trying or walking on eggshells around you relationship wise, you can tell.
Yeah.
And that's that divine intervention. That's that intuition. And it's not even just feminine. When men have it too. I feel like you guys shut it off a little bit sometimes because you're trying to make it work with whatever you seeing. You feeling this girl, she fine, but if your Shana is saying, all right, she might be a little crazy. She might actually be a little crazy. So, just
like,
step that thing a little. Put your intuition on, That's
But check this out though. Have you ever thought that like your comfort zone is simply just you in your own space? So if you got somebody else in your space, you're already stepping outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So now when you do got somebody in your comfort zone, you gotta understand with yourself, like, damn, what are my boundaries? Like while you're in my bubble, like what can I allow you to do? What can I allow you to do? Because then if you just allow them to do anything, that's where that PTSD comes back. You feel me? So you gotta just like what you want in yourself.
He ain't never lied. And then that also comes on communicating at the beginning of the relationship too. Don't wait 12 months into the relationship and now you just now dropping these little bombs on him and he like, this ain't what we talked about, And I'm laughing.
Like, what?
That was literally right. That was literally the gist of my past relationship, the one that I'm a year out of. I didn't really communicate and I really didn't give him expectations on what I should, what I wanted in a relationship. So when I wasn't getting certain things, we having camera problems.
There he is.
But
can you see me? Cool.
I didn't.
There's new Wi-Fi in this house.
Got you. But
I'm still buffering.
There we go. I think we good.
I'm back.
But that was one thing that I didn't do. I didn't set boundaries at the beginning of the relationship. So when he got comfortable, And you know about when guys get comfortable.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Comfortable. That's done, And part of me was like, okay, it's good to see him with his hair laid down. But then he started doing things that I was like, no.
He started adding more seasoning. He was like, oh, okay, let me add a little more.
That's too much pepper. I don't need that. Like literally.
Not too much pepper.
Too much pepper. And we had to have that first sit down after, we had been talking for about 8 months. And I was like, all right, so I didn't put expectations on this relationship because I didn't want you to feel like I was changing you. However, there are some things that you do that I'm not cool with. And when I said it, it was like, ooh, I might have came off a little, but then no, that was really what needed to be said. And we needed to talk about it. And that was the first time that I saw he has a very, very strong defense mechanism.
Oh.
And when you're dealing with someone like that, it's like you're using your safety gloves because you don't want to,
because like he's in protect mode, and
yeah.
right now you're like shooting at his, yeah.
It's not necessarily shooting because we've been in this thing almost a year. You see me literally every day. You stay with me. We're a couple. You feel me? We're a couple without the label.
Boundaries. Yeah.
And the boundaries. And I started feeling like I was just accepting what he was giving me. And it went for a while. And then we had our first little situation, our little scenario that really tested our relationship. And I'm not gonna go in depth because I don't,
I totally understand.
But it definitely put it put a little, over our relationship. And after we overcame that, I had to speak to him because I needed to make sure that this wasn't something that happens on a regular. He's not, this isn't something that I'm gonna have to do on I've never had to do. Okay, so I can at least tell you this. He went to jail. And that was the first relationship that I ever had to bail my significant other out. And I hated that feeling. Wow. I hated walking into the precinct. I hated having to speak with his parents. And this is the first conversation that we're having. This isn't him introducing me, them to me. I'm the lady. I had to meet them because I needed them to join me at the precinct to get him out. And his mother was 4 hours away. His dad ended up helping me. However, it's just like, dang, that's the first stain on our relationship. That's the first,
It's not necessarily a stain. I would not to like, like put any type of like, on your past, but like me, because I've been in that situation, like, but from the guy's perspective, to where like the cops at my door, and like shorty had to, take my car, go meet my mom, and like first time meet my mom type shit, like, and I'm in jail, and like for her to like she didn't have to like bail me out or anything, but like for her to just like be there, and for her to like be able for me to call her like that meant like everything to me. Like once you go in there, it's like oh shit, like this is the bottom, like like
I agree.
Around all dudes for one, like this is terrible, like
and
so, like for you to do what you did, that had to like mean something crazy to him. Like damn, like she just met she's part. She got to be part of my family at this point. Like she just like met my mom. She just did this for me.
And
so,
at
salute
first,
to you for doing that. Like
and at first, after it happened, yeah, I felt a difference because he looked at me like, dog, you really
showed up.
You really showed up. And everything was good for a couple of weeks afterwards. And then it switched back on again. Now he's back to doing his same old stuff. And now he's the same thing that got him in jail is the stuff that he started going back into and doing again. And I'm like, okay, so this is a repetitive cycle. This isn't you trying to learn and grow from it. You just trying to do what you want to do, So this is how I'm, but because I loved him, I kept going. And we the relationship started, to progress, and we were the we got the jokes all on campus. We mom and pop shop on the campus and and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cute, but they don't realize what happens behind closed doors. We barely talk, It was really physical more so for the first year and a half. There wasn't a whole bunch of deep conversations. And that was something that I love. Being a sapio, I need to feel intellectually stimulated.
Yeah.
But I didn't voice that. I guess it was more so the fear of losing him at that time, because it's like, dang, we've been in this thing for a year and a half.
Part.
I'm just like,
because you're like, you don't want to start.
And it's start over again. It that way, but that was one thing that was going on in my head. Do I really want to lose him? I know he has potential to be the guy that I would fall completely for, but we having a little, it's the layers. We trying to pull, and they like the wisdom teeth in the back. You gotta pull,
Not the wisdom tooth. That's your
like,
hurt.
Woo, all right. But this is what love is. Love is, love is patient, love is kind, love is enduring, and that's all that was going on in the back of my head. Just because you see one thing, or two things that, interrupt your psyche, or just keep going. Maybe, if you voice it a little bit, he'll change.
Mm-hmm.
He never changed. And it became a repetitive cycle. Then I had, he went back to jail, and I had to, and it's just like, okay, all right, Lord, are you telling me to listen to my intuition right now?
Did he ever tell you that he was going to change, or he just listened to you?
He said, it's time for a change, but he didn't say verbatim, oh yeah, it's time to change up. It's trying to switch up, what we're doing. It was more so man, you would ride or die. Da, 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 da. All right, go back to my plate mess. And I'm just like, what? And the first conversation that I had with his mother, it seemed that she was, warming up to me. And if y'all don't know anything about me, family is very, very important to me on both sides. And that's also that's for relationship PTSD. My family don't get along together. And I vowed that I would break that curse. I vowed that I would break that, that chain. My mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, they don't mix well, and I'm just like, that's not happening with me from, this moment out. So I really, like, his grandmother loves me. His grandmother and we have that bond. You feel me? His dad respects me because of how I stepped the first time I had to get him out. I was like, this ain't my child. This is your son. I need for you to meet me at the precinct so we can do what we need to do. So he has a certain level of respect for me. I don't know if he loved me like that. We was never really that close. But his mom, when I found out how she felt about me, it broke my heart, because it's like, do you realize like what all I've done to make sure that your son is where he is now mentally and spiritually? I pray for this boy. I love your son.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I don't know what y'all talking about me, and then it ended really ugly. Let's just say that. And that's more so, that was the final, the final straw that I had. You're not about to bash my character. You're not about to stain my personality, and who I am. You've been living with me for 3 years. You know who I am. By now, or clearly you didn't care to know. This is that he didn't want to change. This is that he didn't want to understand who I was. I understand perfectly who you are, because I pay attention. That's what you do when you're trying to become one with someone. You pay attention to their good, their bad, their ugly, what makes them sad, what makes them happy, and he never really did that for me until the end. And I had become numb, and I succumbed to all the confusion and the pain out of the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't care now. I'm just here. And I saw it in photos, I saw it in old videos. I stopped performing. I stopped doing my music. That should have been a sign. Because when we got together, I was at every performance. I was doing something. I was involved.
Yes.
By the time we stopped, I think I had only performed like 3 times that year.
It's because it's like so much was happening to your mental.
Absolutely.
That it was like, because I've been there before too. I was like,
oh boy, you be saying like
all that, and then after a while, I I was stressed. I was like, listen, I got a headache. Like,
Yeah.
I need to go back and rejuvenate.
Stressed,
And
confused, depressed. I just didn't know what was going on. And woo, by that time, like I said, I didn't recognize myself. And I knew it was time for me to go. When I left for a reason. I left all of it. I left him. I left Savannah. I left, all the problems, all the issues. I left it because I felt myself changing. And it was to the point where I couldn't even look in the mirror and be like, oh, I know this person. I didn't recognize myself. And when you get to that point in a relationship, I don't know where that strength came from. That was nothing but the Lord, because of how deep into it I was. And of course I got a praying mother, I got a praying grandmother. They kept me spiritually bound so that when it was time for me to leave, it didn't take me out, because I was so emotionally and invested into that. A lot of people don't know how to bounce back from that PTSD.
Okay.
But I had to. And it was so that I can be able to sit here now and speak on it without emotion, and to speak on it and help people who go through the same thing, who don't know how to get out. Sometimes you just gotta get out.
Oh, yeah.
Speak on it. You don't let somebody know about it. You just dip. And by the time you dip, that's it. Like,
that is it.
That's it. There's no speaking on it. You just had to go. And 6 months, 7 months later, people started reaching out. Ma'am, where you at? Where'd you disappear to? Oh, sweetie, I had to go.
Get myself together.
Exactly. And they were like, I thought y'all were good. Y'all were the Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And I'm like, yo, bro. Just because y'all don't know what we deal with behind closed doors don't mean that you know us. What we present to you, that's how I am. You're not gonna know what's going on with Bay, because I'm not dating everybody. I'm dating him.
Yep.
What we're dealing with, we're gonna deal with in private. There is no public, and that's out of respect of both of us, because baby, I grew up in Riverdale.
You wilding out in public, like
I can,
if anything, I'm need to see you to the side,
like exactly. And out of respect, they didn't know we had split up until honestly April of this year.
Wow.
Exactly. And we had broken it off in November. So, but my thing is, what you need to know my business for? That's that defense right there. This ain't got nothing to do with you. But then the people who were creating problems in our relationship immediately cut me off. The people who were so-called friends, people that I considered close, disappeared after we split up. And that hurt me the most, because it's like, dang, like the people that I expected to be there, to be my shoulder to cry on, to be, that person to instill wisdom, I was the wisdom instiller. And sometimes you have to get out to restore that in yourself. You can't always depend on everybody else to give you, that. So when I left, that was God saying, hey, this ain't it. You got to go.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you'll be with people, and then when you come back home, it's just you. It's just you and your thoughts. So you have to
absolutely. And when I came back, boy, my mom watched the whole roller coaster. I felt empty, and I just didn't know how I was gonna get through this, but I got through it. I had my ugly stage. I had my effort moment. I had my, bruh, don't talk to me. Don't even pick up my phone. Like, I stopped answering calls. Like, it really, I isolated myself. And that was part of the PTSD as well. But that was also what I needed to be able to heal, So when I came back out in April, in May, I was good. I still had the battle scar, but my wound was healed, and I had to do it on my own.
Yep.
And and I really instilled that. I really pushed for that, because nobody knows what you're going through. No matter how
Nobody.
much you can explain it, no matter how much you can break it down and put it in dummified, lame's terms, all of that, nobody knows. So yeah, I mean, even with like the relationship with my mom, the relationship with my siblings, I was like, bro, y'all just get away from me for a minute. I need to focus, you know, like, and I got ugly. And something they say it gets ugly before it gets pretty. I had to get ugly a little bit and have my moments, my lash outs. And when it was out, I could breathe. You know, it's a different level of release when you can get that off your chest, you know? And I didn't realize how much getting it off your chest helped me until honestly a couple of weeks ago. Because
I've learned that too. Like when I went through my breakup, or like even before that, like usually if something's going on with me, I just keep it inside and I'm just like, I'm fine, I'm cool. But I've learned that whatever you're feeling, whether you're sad or like if you're mad or anything like that, sometimes you have to let it out, because if you keep it inside, it's going to be a ticking time bomb. And then it just blows up, you know?
Absolutely.
So I've learned that you literally have to just feel it. Like when I went through my breakup, I literally was just in my room. It was so dramatic. It was like Adele music video. I'm just looking out the window, one tear like just falling down. I'm just like, oh. But I had to just feel everything. So then as the days go by, it just gets lighter and lighter. And then after a while, you're just like, I went through that, but guess what? I got through it.
Absolutely. You know? So. And that way, like by the time April came by, I had kind of, you know, overcome the feeling that I had to end it. You know, like I don't like ending the relationship. I'm more so like the person to try and stick it out, you know, and if it don't work, we both come to a mutual agreement that this isn't working and we part ways. That's been majority of my relationships. But with this one, I had to literally pull back. I had to literally tell him, I can't do this no more. And I'm not the type of person to use the word can't, because you can do anything that you put your mind, body, and soul into, you know, but I had to literally snap that thing off at the head. And that was one thing that was beating me up. And then what I was explaining earlier, that was beating me up. It was like, did I give up too soon? Did I step out too soon? But honestly, I had checked out a year ago, you know, but that's one thing that women don't do. We don't just leave. We check out mentally first. And then we start taking those baby steps to get up out of there. You know?
I've read articles. They said that women, like, they check out mentally and then they'll start to, like, that's how they gradually just fly away. Just
and then the
guys be like,
that's time that was wasted.
I thought we were you didn't know.
And the fact that you didn't know is enough of a sign that you weren't paying attention to me at all in this relationship.
Not diddly
see that I checked out. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is
because you should be able to feel the energy that it's not the same. Like something's different. Like in the atmosphere, because I can feel when something's wrong with you.
Absolutely. Wrong. Hands down. Come here. I know you need a hug.
What can I do to help you with this problem?
Facts.
You know, because us as women, we're nurturers. We want everything to be okay. Absolutely. We want you to be fine. Like, you know, and I also feel like I'm the type of person that when somebody isn't doing well, I can feel that they're not doing well. So like, I'm like, well, dang, let me help you out so we can, you know, but.
Facts. And I realized, you know, just it's so many, you know, I pulled a why did I get married? No, we were not married, but we were close to it. You know, 3.5, 4 years into a relationship is a long time. And we went past the honeymoon phase, the terrible twos. Are we still going to be in this thing for the long run? We were on, you know, that journey. And when Janet Jackson's character was like, take a list, you know, and write down all the good on one side and all the bad on the other. And if the good outweighs the bad, then maybe y'all have something to fight for. But if the bad outweighs the good, then you have to be woman enough with yourself and be like, hey, this ain't it. Or we need to have a talk, you know? And I tried to have the talk with him. And that defense came right back up. And I'm just like, okay, so now this is intentional because you know how I feel. You know, I'm not ever going to try and hurt you. I'm not ever going to try and put you, excuse me, in a situation to where you're hurt. I don't like how it feels to be hurt. So why would I do you? But you cannot expect people to treat you how you treat them.
I realized that too.
I had to learn the hard way. And
me too.
This was relationship bound. So it's just like, man, you know, I thought you loved me. Nah, what's love got to do with it? You know?
Yeah, because like I'll start talking to myself. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have done that. Why did they do that? I don't But
they are not.
That's how you get your feelings hurt. You can't expect people to be like you because
expectations.
Yeah, expectations can hurt your feelings, especially, and then also what seeing someone's potential can hurt your feelings. Like it's
absolutely. And I just look at it and be like, dog, if you would have known what you know now, then you could have saved yourself so much heartache. Yeah. You could save yourself a couple of years.
Yeah, but then I also say I try to look at the glass half full. I'll be like, oh, well, if I didn't go through this now,
I wouldn't
then
be
I might have.
I am now. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I would just have to experience it later and then be like,
so and then you wondering why this is the same repetitive cycle of, catch it now before you have to go through it another time and then another time and then another couple of times and then you sit and you're like, you know what?
Because sometimes with people, they have to go through it a couple of times. Be like, all right, okay. Now I see what's going on. Okay.
You are so right. And it sucks.
It does. It does. I feel like this is the life of lessons. Like sometimes I joke with my friends. I'm like, school didn't really teach me that much. You know, the math, you know, the English, but they didn't really help me with like this relationship type stuff.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like a required course to learn how to communicate.
Have a class on this, right?
Yeah, we had public speaking, but we didn't have the, you know, communication, you know?
Right. So we got a question. Someone said, do you believe that the hurt disappointment was necessary? Absolutely. Now that I've gone through
I'm
it.
out of it.
I had to. Right, I'm out
now.
You know, I do feel like sometimes some people have to, you know, bump their butts a couple of times. And I was that, you know, that type of person. I mean, my mom used to come to me and be like, lady, you are too much woman for him. You are too much for him to handle right now. And I could see that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
But we don't want to hear it.
That rebellion is just like, let me prove you wrong real quick. You know,
let me live. Let me live.
Absolutely. And then here you sit 3 years later crying your eyes out because all you had to do was listen to mama.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, I also think that like years from now, we're going to be the people talking to the babies, you know,
exactly.
Like, listen here, sugar.
Sometimes you have to experience. You know, you have to go through it to be able to teach someone to not go through it, you know? And I volunteer as tribute. You know, I'm always the person who likes to be taught, but I also like to teach as well. You know, I'm a motivational speaker. And in that situation, I don't want to be giving out false information. So, yeah, let me experience a little bit. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to disappoint me a little bit. It's going to, you know, make me be like, you know? And I realized how much I grew. Had a situation here really, you know, recently. I was speaking to a guy and he was giving me bad signs from the beginning.
Oh boy.
He was gorgeous and he fed my mind and we just clicked, you know. But when it didn't, I came to him and was like, you know, so I paid attention to our conversations at the beginning of this talking phase. And you letting me know that you got girls who are waiting to get a piece of you.
Woo! And they think that's a good thing when they tell you that.
Oh, and you got to listen to it. Please don't ignore that. Don't ignore that, because he's literally telling you how he is. And this moment right here, this is the time where you need to be paying attention. And he'll literally hang himself if you let him. And
yes, if you just sit back and observe, if you sit there and let people talk, they will tell on themselves.
Absolutely. And I looked at him and his gorgeousness, and I said, I refuse to be one of those girls that you put in friend zone, simply because you know the pull on my energy that you have. This is my farewell letter. And he looked at me and was like, really? And I was like, absolutely, because I know my worth. And all the stuff that you were doing at the beginning of the relationship, of our situationship, whatever you want to call it, is what I deserved, because that's what you thought I deserved. Men will treat you how they want to treat you, and how they treat you is simply out of their vision of you. So he treated me like royalty those first 6 weeks of us talking, because that's how he looked at me.
Exactly.
If it means, or if it devalues, that means something in this milk ain't right and it's changed. And you got to be able to call them out. That's where, like I said,
communication, you got to let them know. You got to like, hey,
communication and comprehension. I saw that. Yeah. So what we're not going to do is act like you didn't just switch up on me, because now the things that I was, that you put in place for me to expect from you, you're no longer doing. At the beginning of our conversations, I talked to this man 6 times a day. In the morning, when he woke up to get to work, he called me at 9:30. He called, and I'm talking clockwork. Every day I spoke to him at this time. He pulled up, to my workspace, or I'd pull up to his house after work, and we just clicked, but it's all because on both sides of the spectrum, we're doing this, it's both sides. But when he pulled back, I noticed. And I'm sitting here, I'm, as usual, doing what I'm doing, but waiting for you to call me at 11:33 a.m. because it's your lunch break.
Problem. But yes, and you feel the shift.
Exactly. And now I'm just like, okay, day one. And then day one turned to week one. And then week one to turn to week two. And now I don't get a call from you at all. You can go 4-5 days without calling me. If you can go that long without speaking to me as your girl, lose my number. Because then I know this is no.
This is a game to you.
This is a game to you, and I will win. I'm done. I'm done taking L's because, I love him. Oh, I like him. Oh, I'm falling. Bump that mess. Let's roll. like for real.
Just like bye.
Like hands. I mean, we about to floor it. Get out. And when I told him, I'm not about to be another one of your little side dummies, because I fell in love with your mind. I attached to your spirit before you even touched me physically. That's how deep. That's how deep I am. You feel me? So and I know that we just gonna let it be, whatever it is. Let it be, because I'm not about to get played. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to willingly get played, even though you gave me the information that I needed to see that you ain't no good. You got it.
It's kind of like, I look at that as kind of like love bombing. Like they do all this stuff and then they gradually take it away. And you're like, well, what happened? Is it?
Women are very, we fall based off of action. Yes. You don't have to say anything to me. If your actions is showing me that you are putting me first, you got me voted. That's it. But once your actions start to fade, and I'm hearing a whole bunch of this, it's not the same.
And there's something behind the reason why you're not doing those actions anymore. And you don't want me to start trying to like draw my own conclusions, because
this right here is a dangerous thing. And I
dangerous.
And I tell, I'm about to give men a little insight into women real quick. sex is a spirit connector.
Mm-hmm.
So when women feel that you're cheating, we know it's real. Like we know, like in the pit of our stomach,
Mm-hmm.
that you about to do something that you're not supposed to be doing, because we're literally connected to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. This is not something to be scared of. Just, be careful who you messing around with, because the connection, the bond that you create from the sex is this part one,
It is.
but it's such a major part of it. So when he first stepped out, I was in Moultrie. That's my hometown. And I got sick as a dog. And I didn't know why I had got sick as a dog until I got back to Atlanta, and he was letting it be known, that he had went out with some boys. He told on himself. He went out and got super drunk in Atlanta, and some girls was all up on him, and you're telling this to me,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not your lady. Like, okay, so we still acting like we single out here in these parts.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I cut off all my little side pieces, all of my potentializers, all of my, I'm the right man for you to only go out and do what you want to do. Okay, so my Shonda, everything just in, cahoots. And that was the strike one. I was like, oh, so you comfortable enough to tell me that some girls just jumped up on you at your cousin's birthday party, like,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't do anything? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. And then they hit you with that, oh, but I didn't know. No, yeah, you did. You did know, because we all know how this goes. It takes steps to reach to a certain, if you know what I mean. So it's like, no.
Absolutely. And woo, like I said, PTSD, because there's some things that I got over and I can call it for what it is. And then there's some other things where I, maybe I'm reading that wrong. No. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
God setting your vision for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it in my sleep for a reason. So when I said farewell, I said farewell. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew I had overcome so much of my PTSD. I was never able to be like, hey, check that. I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not about to sit here and act like you didn't just do what you did, and we just gonna act like no. There's the time for turning a blind eye is over. I need to see you.
You got that right.
I need to see you in the rawest form, my G, before I cut off my pieces, because clearly I be making the wrong choice. You feel me? Like clearly, I just have a bad taste in men. But no, it's like I said, PTSD. Me not walking in my self-worth, me not walking in what I know I deserve, because I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt be gone. There is no more benefit of the doubt, because I'm at an age now where I know you know what you're doing. We grown.
And that's another thing. Like, I have to realize that I am an adult. That person is an adult. And like,
this ain't high school. You know exactly what you're doing.
And it's not college. Like, you know exactly. I wouldn't know exactly what I'm doing.
And in that world. Exactly. So y'all see me sipping. I'm sipping on my good old Cocoa Joy. Shout out to them, just because y'all see me picking up my cup occasionally. But absolutely, absolutely. I'm just in a world now where I no longer care about your I'm sorries. Because I'm sorry's build up to excuses of, oh, I'm going to change, but you never do. No. I'm done listening to you.
You gotta have action, because you could say so many things.
Absolutely.
So many things.
And me falling for your words, I'm a fool in training, because clearly you can say what you want to say, but when you move, you're gonna move. And I look at my ex now, the 3 year and a half, and I'm so proud of him. All the stuff that he was saying that he was going to do in our relationship, he's doing now. And I could not, as his friend, I can't be more proud of him. I can't explain how ecstatic I am to see him performing and doing this and doing that. But then there's that PTSD in me. Why couldn't you do this while we were together?
Oh,
Why couldn't you actually move and do what you were saying that you were going to do while we were together?
Because I don't know. Sometimes people have to feel that like maybe heartache or reach that breaking point, and it'll make them do like a 180. I hate that has to happen in order for things to change.
Trash. And you just sit here like, baby, I was loving you before you did all of this. Do you realize if you would have just did what you said, we'd be married with a couple kids by now? Like, we would have been good. All I needed for you to do was say what you was doing what you would say you were going to do in the first place. Don't make a liar out of yourself. And it took me telling you, I'm done. This is over. I no longer want this relationship to work out. I had to break up with you for you to become your best self. Baby, I was trying to mold you into being your best self while we were together. That's why majority of my stuff was put on the back burner, because I wanted you to know I have faith in you.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore. I've learned that you really can't do that anymore, because some people can take advantage. There's like givers and there's takers, and people see that you give a lot. They're like, oh, okay, I'll just keep taking.
That's going to be comfortable with taking. And then they done took, and now you have nothing else to give. And now he looking at you like, what's wrong?
Why don't you have any energy? Why aren't you smiling as much? Why aren't you this hype individual when I first met you? It's because I'm stressed now.
Oh, but then that's one thing that we as human beings, and this is on both sides. This is just, what I've dealt with as a personal, but on both sides, we have to look at the entire situation. What was I doing? What was I not doing? He never sat down and comprehended that until I was gone. And he wrote a song about it. And I was like, wow, so you did hear me. Like I said, give a man an inch, he'll run with that jack.
Yep.
And he'll hang himself. And the song, beautiful, but it also appealed to that, well, was I not getting through to him? This let me know. This was the evidence that I needed to know that you heard me. It was just a choice.
Yeah.
It was a choice that you made to not try and make this work. And there was a quote. And I quote because I shared it on my Instagram, y'all. Like, it was so profound how and I have this app. It's like a motivational app. That's one thing that I did. That's part of my self-care. I get like 3 to 6 like little motivational quotes to pop up on my page. And the one that stuck, it just, it hit home for me. Love is a choice. Being in a committed relationship is a choice. Creating a beautiful life together is a choice. You must make this choice each day of your life if your relationship is to last. I believe I was the only person who was doing that. My next relationship, I'm gonna need my man to be able to understand that it is a choice. I am choosing you. I don't need you.
Yes, exactly that part.
And what's his name? Oh my God, he got so much backlash from his little Kevin Gates, the rapper. You know who that is? Kevin Gates. So he does like little interviews, and he was basically talking about this. And he was like, a wise woman once told me that if a woman wants you but doesn't need you, that's different love than someone who needs you and doesn't want you. And I was like, I'm gonna have to dap up that lady, because oh my God, that is spot on. If I want you, I'm gonna go 150 miles per hour to let you know I want you. But if I need you, that need can subside. And then what else do we have in that relationship? Exactly. That's on both sides of the spectrum. If you need me versus you actually wanting me, I'll be able to feel the difference. And he didn't want me until the end. So
because he saw that it was about to be over. He was like, oh,
absolutely. Snap. Now you want me. No, I don't want you.
Serious.
I don't want you. But we did have a question. I was not ignoring Ocean Productions. She was saying, do you think it bursts atmospheres that you create in the relationships because of the hurt? Do you think that it bursts atmospheres that you create? I don't know. I think that's more so. I guess that goes back on the statement that hurt people hurt people. If they've been hurt in previous relationships, there's going to be an unconscious move that they make in the new relationship that mimics the old relationship.
Yeah.
In that situation, it could be. But when I got with my ex, I was good. Like I was.
Yeah, me too.
In a relationship in God 3 years.
Mine was a little different because okay, so it was my first relationship. So like, yeah, I just learned a bunch of stuff in being in my first relationship, you know? So I was just like, I don't know, man.
Right.
But I'm not saying that I had been hurt before entering that relationship.
Absolutely.
But did I have PTSD? I don't think I had that strong of PTSD.
Right. I don't think PTSD kicked in until I actually got my heart broken.
Yes.
By that time, I had gotten so accustomed to the fact that men are just men, and they'll choose to treat you right or they'll choose to do you dirty, you know. So every relationship that I walked in, I didn't walk in with the view or the insight of, oh, this man might hurt me in 3 months, or this man might, switch up. I really had enthusiasm walking into that relationship.
Yeah, that's how I was too.
No, I don't think
and that's how, and if something goes wrong, that's when you really
it really get hurt, because it's just like, dude, I chose to give you a chance. I chose to do choices, guys. It's all about choices. All right, once you overcome that PTSD on that was my biggest part. It's all about choices. A man will treat you how he wants to treat you. And a woman,
that's why you can't let things slide. That's why you really can't let things slide, because it just doesn't work. And then like, it's crazy because like, I feel like romantic relationships and then friendships are different, because when you're with your friends and they do something, you let them know. You're like, hey.
It's like, dude, I don't want to cut you up. I don't want to make you feel bad.
But what you did the other day, that didn't make me feel good. So why was it so hard in the relationship to be like, hey, I didn't really like that?
It's a different standard. It's a different standard. When we're together, it's you kind of walk on eggshells a little bit, when it should be the complete opposite, you know.
And in relationship, this person literally, in my mind, I picture them holding my heart in their hand. So it's just
dagger,
like,
and just like, you know, like, stop that, you know. I'm telling you, I'm telling you what's up, you know, like. But at the end of the day, it is a choice. It is a choice. Just like he has a choice to treat you a certain way, you have a choice to leave. You have a choice to
and let them know that, hey, with how you treated me, I didn't like it. So maybe, you know, in your next relationship, you know, you probably shouldn't do that, because she's not gonna like it either. And you don't want to, you know, make this a habit, you know.
Absolutely. So we're gonna close this topic out, as y'all can see, but I was not gonna.
Went by so fast.
It really did. But see, this is how you know this is it right here.
Wait, what?
Here, and I don't know where radio went. Raheem just disappeared. I don't know.
He did disappear.
There was a little too much heat in the kitchen. I don't know. But we are going to finish this show off. Miss Latia, do you want to go ahead and perform that piece, and then we'll close it on out? Yes, ma'am. So I'm giving the stage to Latia.
Okay, y'all. So like, basically, this song is called "Ask Yourself." Basically, like we were talking about in relationships. I wrote this when the relationship was about to end, and I was just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna have to start all over, and there could be a possibility that this might not work again. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. So you know what? I'm just gonna focus on myself. So basically,
Absolutely.
the song is just me asking myself, telling myself, giving myself that pep talk that we all women need at times. So I hope you like it. Let me tell you about a woman I know that loves with all her soul. I know it's not just me, friends relate with me. Funny thing about love is how vulnerable you become. One moment your heart is warm, next drop through the mud, smiling from ear to ear, but now it's disappeared. So you ask yourself, are you ready to love again? But you tell yourself, it's me, myself, till the end. But you ask yourself, does anyone deserve a chance? Tell yourself, it's time to focus on me again. I'm not trying to say that I'm saturated with the idea of love, but I'm tired of contemplating, is it for me or is it not? I'm not trying to say that I'm saturated with the idea of love, but I'm tired of contemplating, is it for me or is it not? So I ask myself, are you ready to love again? Better tell myself, it's me, myself, till the end. But I ask myself, does anyone deserve a chance? Tell myself, it's time to focus on me again. Thank you.
Yo, and it's just as beautiful the second time I hear it. So
Aw, thank you. Thank you,
the
Mika.
first time, absolutely. Oh yeah, they eat it up. So the first time I actually spoke to this young lady, we were at the ABC Underground, which is a pretty hot spot that we meet up at. It's a little open mic show down off of Auburn Street, and she came in and she performed, and I was just absolutely blown away by the song the first time. And I really do feel like this is kind of like a urbanized me, myself, and I a little bit. We have to take that power back as women and as men. This isn't just a one-sided thing. This is very unisex. A lot of men deal with the same thing. But you have to kind of take over that PTSD a little bit and tell yourself, hey, get up. It's time for you to move. It's time for you to get out of this little sunken place that you have yourself in, because if you stay here any longer, it's gonna get harder for you to get out.
Yeah, it's like sinking sand, and you don't want it to like
Absolutely.
rise over your head. It makes it harder to get out.
Absolutely. You got to speak yourself out. And in times like this, but definitely you have to lean and depend on your personal energy, your personal strength to get out of certain things like this. So absolutely, you have to live again. You feel me? You have to love yourself. You have to go through the hurt, that depression, that whatever you have to go through in order to come out polished and smooth. Pressure makes diamonds. You feel me? Heat creates diamonds. You feel me? So you have to go through it sometimes. And when you come out, dust that dust off and be like, hey, I'm back, y'all. Like, so absolutely relationship PTSD, y'all. Wow. So even though the show is about to end, you guys can still definitely go into the comments and watch the show and just let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what y'all PTSD was. Coming out of relationships, however long it could be, 6 months, it could be 6 years. It's not really a time span for relationships where you can get PTSD. But definitely, this has been a fantastic show. Y'all, we will be back next week. And
I really enjoyed myself too. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. Like when you asked me, I was like, okay, this is out of my comfort zone, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. Okay, you can do it. So like, I'm glad that you asked me to be a part of this. This is awesome.
Definitely. So you just getting the vibe, catch the vibe, catch the energy. Y'all have been vibing with Autumn Le Poete. Y'all will see me next week. Once again, shout out to Radio. I don't know where he went to, and the beautiful Miss Lakia. And we will see what we're going to talk about next week. I'm out.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay.